Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to share with you how to follow through on anything you've set out to do. Now this is a huge productivity problem and more so a life success problem that most of humanity faces. And how do I know this? Well, because a lot of online course programs online have released their statistics on how many people actually get through it, and the results are staggering. A large portion of people barely get through the first section or first lesson of any type of course online or any type of program online. And similarly, any of those like 30-day challenges, whether it's a yoga challenge or anything else you see on YouTube, you can see that a vast majority of people drop off after the first 2 or 3 days, and by day 10, 90% of people are already gone. Very few people actually ever complete these things, and the same type of statistics remain for almost everything out there that have a similar type of process. And therefore you start to think, is the follow-through process really that bad for most people? No wonder most people are so unproductive and barely come close to achieving their full potential in life. And it's also very shocking and sad when you think about it, because a lot of these online programs cost a lot of money to actually pay for. So these people are paying massive amounts of money, sometimes thousands of dollars, for these programs, and they don't follow through or even come close to finishing them. So it's kind of like, why would you buy something if you're not going to finish it? And now you're probably wondering, well, why should you trust me? Why should you trust the advice from me? Well, that's a great question. You know, first off, I do study a lot of the top, most productive people on earth. We're talking CEOs, billionaires, and I've really kind of curated and sourced all these tips for productivity and written articles, a couple articles on my blog covering everything I've learned from these people. And also on top of that, again, you can check out my blog below in the link in the description to check out these articles. But on top of that, I have myself put my own money and paid for courses like this. For example, I paid thousands of dollars to try out and keep Ramit Sethi's Dream Job course, which is a professional development themed course that is going to supposedly take you through the entire process of succeeding at your job, from finding a job to keeping networking connections to getting promoted to negotiating salary to finding new job opportunities, all that jazz. And the course, the one I bought, was the cheapest offer, and it was still thousands of dollars. And that's how he makes his money. But on top of that, he's revealed his own statistics, how barely anyone finishes the course, how like most people drop off, very few watch every video in that course. And I completed everything. I did everything, video that was out there. I watched it numerous times, wrote comments in the comment section, and I was one of the few people, even though there's thousands of people who had gone through this course, who had all paid thousands of dollars. For some reason, most of them weren't able to follow through. So those stats are very staggering, and I just kind of want to walk through it and my whole thinking process behind it. So the number one reason why I follow through on these things, especially when it's something public like this where other people can see my comments, and high performers like Ramit Sethi can see this work, is that I am motivated by the fact that no one else follows through. So I'm literally motivated by the fact that everyone else is not motivated, and everyone else, or most people, will not get to the end of this. And I find that incredibly fascinating. Similarly, I bought another course by Tai Lopez. Some of you have probably heard of him. He's like this big self-help guy. And his flagship product, 67 Steps, is basically like these 67 videos you have to go through. And similarly, I was looking at the stats, because you can post comments after you watch every one of these 67 videos, each of them lasting up to an hour or more. And I clearly saw a drop off. I saw people by like the 30th step, not even, people stopped posting comments, and I was the first one and only one to post comments. So I was very motivated by this because I thought, you know what? Just by the fact of finishing this, I'm going to be 10 steps ahead of the crowd. You know, I'm going to be that guy who actually follows through. And I was literally motivated by that simple fact to just get it done, because I knew that I would actually be ahead of the crowd. I'd be more successful. I'd accomplish my goals faster because I could visibly see that no one else was following through. And I thought on top of that, that maybe the course creators would see that and they'd realize, you know what, this guy is really someone who actually follows through. He's going to be a game changer and he's going to succeed in life. And so those things really fueled me. And I don't think most people think of it that way. They just think, oh, look at all this work. And 99% of people, that's what they think and that's how they do it. And therefore, most of them don't actually complete these courses or challenges or anything like that. The one drawback behind that, and this may just be a flaw of the course creators, but they never set any incentives or reward systems or praise. It kind of almost seemed like they just threw up these videos and just kind of left it be. Like they were on to other things. And they didn't check in at all with who was completing the course or writing comments in the course. And so I was quite disappointed when I did all this, wrote all these comments, and no one even recognized it. So that was a bit of a dapper to my motivation, but nonetheless, I think it's important not to tie any type of key validation or motivation to other people. If you're always looking for other people's approval for stuff as your key motivator, that becomes very dependent. I've watched a lot of interviews of entrepreneurs who were fueled by like their parents' approval because their parents never approved anything of them, and sure they went on to like achieve a lot of great things, but then like it was also a very damaging psychological thing. They were never fully satisfied or proud of or really validated themselves, and it becomes this endless chase that they can never fulfill. So I obviously didn't let that become my core driver. So even when that didn't occur, I was still internally motivated to finish these courses and get the work done, because I knew how fairly easy it was in comparison to other things you could do in life that are like 10 times more hard. Like I'm not trying to survive in the Holocaust here. And I knew that people were, too lazy to do this. So while others focus on how hard it is, or how lazy they are, I focus on the fact that most other people don't do this. So that's a huge motivator you can use, and I think that's hopefully going to get you far in life and hopefully help you succeed. So that's the biggest thing for following through. Of course, if you want more tips, you can go to my site, willyoulaugh.com. Again, the link's in the description of this YouTube video. You can click the link there, and then there's a search function. If you just search the word billionaire productivity, you will find my article on productivity hacks of billionaires. So that's all I gotta say in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.